It started with an urban legend, a forgotten house at the edge of town, a relic of decay and whispered stories. Some said a family had vanished there overnight. Others claimed a man went insane inside, scrawling warnings on the walls before disappearing. Nobody truly knew the truth, but the story had always intrigued me, a lingering curiosity I couldn't shake. One evening, after a few too many drinks with friends, we started daring each other to visit. At first, it was just a joke, but the idea rooted itself in my mind. By morning, I had made up my mind. I needed to see it for myself. The house stood in the woods, barely visible through the overgrown trees. Its wooden exterior was warped and blackened with age. The windows gaped like empty sockets, shattered and hollow. Pushing through the front door, the air hit me first, stale, damp, tinged with something foul. The silence inside was oppressive, the kind that makes you aware of every breath, every step. I wandered through the rooms, my footsteps muffled by years of dust. Broken furniture lay scattered, signs of abandonment everywhere. Then, in what must have once been the living room, I saw it. A small cassette recorder, half buried beneath a collapsed shelf. Something about it felt wrong, like it had been placed there deliberately. I hesitated, then picked it up. The plastic was cold, despite the warmth of the afternoon. A single tape sat inside, labeled with nothing but a smudged fingerprint. My pulse quickened. I pressed play. At first, all I heard was static. Then, a voice. My voice. "If you're listening to this, it's already too late." I froze. The voice on the tape sounded exactly like me, but the tone was strained, urgent. I rewound the tape and played it again, hoping I had misheard. The voice repeated the same words, then continued. "You won't believe me, but you have to listen carefully. I was here before. I've done exactly what you're doing now, and I didn't make out." My skin crawled. I glanced around the empty house. The decayed furniture, the broken windows, the smell of damp wood. It all felt suddenly suffocating. The voice on the tape sighed heavily, as if bracing for something terrible. "You found the recorder at 3:42 p.m. You're standing in the living room, looking around, wondering if this is some kind of joke. You just checked the doorway behind you. It's empty, but not for long." My heart pounded. I checked my phone. 3:42 p.m. I turned to look at the doorway. Nothing. I laughed nervously. This had to be a prank. Maybe an old radio recording. Some strange coincidence. But the voice kept going. "You want to run now?" "I know. I wanted to run too. But don't. Not yet. If you move too soon, you'll see it. And once you see it, it sees you." Something shifted in the air. A faint whisper, like wind through cracks in the walls. But there was no wind. I held my breath, every muscle in my body frozen. The voice continued. "It's behind you now. Don't turn around. Don't breathe too loud. If you hear it whisper your name, it's already too late." Silence. My ears strained, waiting, dreading. My lungs burned as I forced myself to stay still. Then, the tape crackled again. "Close your eyes. Walk straight ahead. Don't stop until you reach the front door. If you hesitate, it will know." Tears burned at the corners of my eyes. This was insane. I wanted to run, to scream, but I obeyed, step by step, blindly feeling my way forward, the wooden floor creaking beneath me. The air behind me grew colder. "One more step," the voice urged. Almost there. I reached out and felt the door handle. My fingers gripped the rusted metal, twisting desperately. The door groaned open, letting in the evening light. I stumbled onto the porch, gasping for air. The cassette player was still in my hands. The tape was still playing. "You made it," the voice said, relieved. "But don't come back. Next time, you won't hear this warning." The tape ended with a click. I ran. I never looked back, but the nightmare didn't end there. Back home, I tried to rationalize what had happened. Maybe it was an elaborate trick, a recording left by some prankster who had studied my voice, my habits. Maybe I had imagined the whispers, the presence behind me. But every time I closed my eyes, I heard it again. The static, the slow inhale, the whisper that I had barely escaped. I should have thrown the recorder away. I should have burned it, smashed it, anything but what I did. I kept it. Every night, I told myself I wouldn't listen again. And every night, I did. The voice changed. It no longer just warned me. It started asking questions. Why did you leave? Do you think you're safe? What if I told you you never left? Then, one night, as I lay paralyzed in my bed, the cassette clicked on by itself. The last thing I heard was my own voice, whispering in the dark. Turn around.